Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. We are going to be cooperating today and competing at the same time by building train tracks. We're going to be building them all across America, from St. Louis all the way to Sacramento. So we're going to be buying plots of land, we're going to be spending money, and also making money when we connect two towns together. Let's check it out. I'll show you how it's played. It's an economic game, but it's very simple, very family friendly, and somewhat similar to Acquire. So stay tuned. Here we have the last spike set up here. We have cards of land for each of the different cities that are on the board. And we have some money chips, we have some tiles, and let's get started. First, everyone's going to get some money to start the game. Now, the game plays between 2 and 6 players, and you're going to get between 30 and 60 grand each, depending on how many players they are, and they're chips, so it's 1s, 5s, and 10s. Then everyone's going to randomly draw a tile, and the closest one to A1 is going to be the one that goes. So let's say if there were just 2 players, this player is closer to A1, so he would go first. These would get flipped over and mixed back into the stash. Now what's going to be happening over the course of the game is people are going to be kind of cooperating together and building railroads from different cities to different cities, and eventually there's going to be a track that goes somehow all the way from St. Louis to Sacramento, and that will be the end of the game. Now the game's very simple, and it's so simple your entire turn is actually printed right on the board. You're going to lay a track and pay for it. You're going to collect a payout if there are some. You're going to buy a property, and then you're going to draw a tile. That's pretty much the whole game. So everyone's going to have 4 tiles, and they're going to be secret. They're going to be kind of like that. Only they'll be able to see them. They'll be in front of them and them only. And they'll place one. They'll choose one to place. Now this one says C1, and it's $1,000. So I would have to pay $1,000, this white chip, to the bank, and I can place this C1 down. Now anytime you place a tile down, it basically has to be next to a city or next to a tile that's already there. If you don't do that, you have to pay double. So for example, if someone went on this D3 spot right now, it's normally $2,000. That would actually cost $4,000 because they're out in the middle of nowhere and it costs more to get people up there to build. So in this case, you get $1,000. Now the first person to go next to a city, and obviously Omaha has 3 different spots that are next to them, they take the first land card that's in the pile for that city. The first land card for every city is free. It shows this cost is 0, like Laramie's is 0, Ogden is 0. And as people start buying this, and this is mined for free, and when you take a free one, you cannot buy another tile. In this case, I would just draw a replacement tile. My turn would be over. Now in future turns, if someone builds something, they can build anywhere like I just mentioned before. Now let's say they go to A4. Now the Omaha was already taken for free, so they don't get this for free, and they can buy one. They can buy anything they want, but they can't take any of the free lands. Like for example, there's still no one has gone to Laramie yet, so this one's free, you can't get that one. But since I went here and the free's gone for Omaha, I can buy anything that has a non-free land on there. And what you'll notice is that all the lands go up in value. So this one's worth 3, it costs 3, and if I have one of these, when the playout happens, I'll get 7,000, 14, 21, 28. So for every additional card I have, it's going to be $7,000. I'm spending 3 to get it. The next card is going to cost 4, and then 5, and then 6. And so all the cards get more expensive, so your rates of return are going to be much better early on. Now St. Louis actually is the best rate of return because it's free and you'll get 10,000. But then these go 6, 7, 8, 9. So even on the last one, you're really going to get, basically you're just going to make $1,000 on that card when it pays out, but they're worth the more up front. So if it's my turn, and let's say I put a U1 here and I spend 2,000, now the free Laramie has already gone. Whoever put the C4 there grabbed it, so I'd have to spend 4,000 to get a Laramie. Now I can look over here and say, look, this from Omaha to St. Louis is almost done. And I know that I actually have the tile to do this, and this side isn't even that close from being built there. So what I do is I put one over here near Laramie, but I'm gonna buy a St. Louis for 6,000. And then maybe next turn I put somewhere else and I buy another St. Louis. Now you don't want to buy too many of the same one because then everyone will pretty much stop working with you. Although in this case, I have the tile, I know I'm good. But I also wanted to be able to score later on from St. Louis to Dodge City. So sometimes you have to like buy some, but you want to kind of wait off and let other people kind of get in too, because those people are going to be more apt to help you later on. So let's say on a future turn, I put this here, I spend the 2,000 and I put this. Now, every player who has any Omaha and St. Louis, because those are the two cities that just get closed, gets a payout. So let's say I had 3 St. Louis and 1 Omaha. I would get 7,000 for my 1 Omaha. I would get 30,000 for 3 St. Louis. I would get $37,000 right now. Now these stay out the whole game. You can score them more than once. Everyone has to be able to see how many you have of each, but your money can stay hidden throughout the game, so you're not quite sure who has how much. So this will continue. On your turn, you're playing a tile. You're buying a land plot, a land card. If it connected 2 cities, everyone's getting paid out from those 2, and then you're drawing a tile, and that's it. Now, it comes to the point where at some point, someone's going to finish the game, and this happens when anybody finishes Sacramento to St. Louis. Now, as you can see here, St. Louis comes up here, down here, up here, and over here, and it could finish with the Y4 tile. It also comes down here, it could finish with the Z3 tile. Now, note that also Denver itself has the possibility of scoring 4 times. Of course, they cost less and the reward is sometimes a lot less, but it's quite balanced in that way. And it looks like in this game, Denver actually paid out 3 different times. Once to Omaha, once to Ogden, and once to Yuma, and it was 1 tile away from getting to Dodge City. Where it looked like El Paso was a big loser. Anyone that bought El Paso would really be messed up because they did not close anything. So let's say someone plays the last tile. This is called the last spike, and this closes it. Whoever places that last spike automatically gets $20,000 for doing so, and then everyone gets paid out as normal. In this case, it would be Sacramento to Yuma, and then all the cards that you have are worth nothing. It's literally whoever just has the most money at the end of the game is the winner. You know, it's not often that I get a game that is really truly what I believe is to be like a diamond in the rough. And it's not often that I get a game that is exactly what I hoped it would be. Sometimes I get my hopes up too much. This one made both of those for me happen. Now, this game itself is a very light, family-level economic game. It says 45 minutes on the box. That's the most it will take you. We played most of our games in just about 30 minutes, just under like 28, 27 minutes. Now, if you've ever played Acquire before, this game really feels like that. Now, I'll stop for a minute. Those people that have played Acquire, hold on, I'll come right back to you. If you've never played Acquire, this is a great family level game where it's very simple. Like, you're only doing 4 things in your turn. You're laying a tile, you're buying a plot of land, and maybe there's a payout. So it's like, I play, I buy, I pull a tile. Next player's turn. It moves really fast. It's super simple. This has what is in my sweet spot of, I always say, my depth to complexity ratio. There's a lot of depth here without it being very complex. Very small rule set, a lot of good choices to make, and this is why this game is excellent. It's not obvious what you should be doing, and it's interesting that you have to cooperate with people. There was one time where I knew I had the tiles to finish St. Louis to, I forget which one of those 2 cities, and I had the tiles. I had 2 of them. I knew I could finish it whenever I wanted. So I was building over here and then buying St. Louis, and then building over there and buying St. Louis. And it's interesting because you see people doing things and you're like, huh, they just bought 2 of those in a row. They probably know something I don't. I better start getting in on that now because it's probably going to trigger whether I want to or not. But in this case, you know, I started going after those things and someone's like, you know what? Yeah, you have the tiles to get that one connection, but other people had the tiles for that other connection and they did not let it happen. Towards the end of the game, it didn't get it happen. So it's like you want to go after things, but you don't want to go after them too heavy, because then other people won't cooperate with you because they want to make money too. It's this interesting, awesome economic thing where everyone works together, but you're fighting each other. And it's like, look, I could play this into Denver. I have Denver in this other city, so does he. He's going to make more money, but we're both going to make more money. This guy over here is not going to make any money. Huh, should I like not do it because I'm still going to make less than this other guy? Or should I do it because I think this other guy's winning? So again, simple decisions. It's not hard at all. It's easy, but the depth and the layers are there are really great. So if you've played Acquire, wow, everything speaks Acquire to me about this. Even the way you get the tiles for the start play. Pull up, closest one to A1. All the A1 grids going through, just the way it works. This to me, almost, it might replace Acquire for me. Because the one thing I had, the big problem I had with Acquire is it ran too long. Usually it's 75 to 90 minutes, and almost every game is at least one person who halfway through, they know they didn't get in one of the 2 big ones and they're just out and they sit around for 45 minutes. So it showed its age, but it is a great game, but it still shows its age. But this is a more streamlined version. Sure, it's probably not as deep, not as many decisions, but man, it takes all the good things of Acquire, takes out all the bad things of Acquire, gives it to you in a very bite-sized, streamlined edition. And I really, really like this game. If you like Acquire, this is a no-brainer. You're gonna have to check this one out. So, the components themselves, the only bad thing about this, the board is like, it's not paper, but it's not like a normal board. It's very chintzy and cheap feeling. The artwork is not great in this game. The components are not great. The stickers are already starting to fall off a little bit. But I don't care, because I will look past that for a great game that's a lot of fun and simple and easy to teach. So if you like Acquire, no brainer, you're gonna check this one out. If you don't know Acquire and you want a family level economic game, this is an excellent game, and it's everything I hoped it would be, and this is gonna be in my running for some awards at the end of the year. That is The Last Spike.